Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Mayor's Corner. Today is March 18th, 2026, but you'll notice we still have our St. Patrick Day decorations because they're so beautiful. And I want to thank our staff and Janine and Jennifer Ruiz for decorating our chambers, and they're awesome. They always keep us in a cheerful mood and decorate for us. But we did want to reach out today. We have our fire chief with us, and also he's our EMC, which is our emergency management coordinator. And we just kind of wanted to touch base and notify everyone to be careful. There are red flag warnings. So I'll hand it over to our chief so he can explain what red flag warnings are and all that good stuff.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, I'm happy to be here to talk to the public a little bit about what red flags are and and what our weather is like. You know how it's been the last couple of days and couple of weeks. So you'll notice that there's these things called red flag warnings that are coming out. The Weather Service puts those out, and what that is, that means that the humidity levels reach a certain threshold. Our winds reach a certain threshold, and if when you combine that with dry fuel that's on the ground, obviously you guys know we haven't had any rain.
lot of rain, yes.
And so we have a lot of fuel on the ground that, and when I say fuel, I mean grass, brush, trees, all that is really dry because it hasn't had any rain. And so when that stuff dries up and you have the really low humidity and the higher winds, that causes a recipe for disaster for us. And so those are what we call red flag days. And so the Weather Service will put those out, so you'll see that on the whatever weather station you're watching. They'll talk about today's a red flag day. Be real careful. It'll go out over social media. We'll push things out. The Weather Service pushes things out through social media as well. And so there's some key things that I wanted to discuss. And me and the mayor, we meet very regularly to discuss emergency management issues and make sure that we're prepared for things. And so I was briefing her on some of the stuff that we're dealing with on with our red flag days and how we prepare for that. So there's things that we do as a city to prepare for that, and then there's things that you need to do as a resident, as a homeowner, to prepare as well. And so that's what we want to talk about today, right, Mayor?
Yes, for everyone to be aware of what are some of the things to avoid because of the dry and windy conditions, right?
Right.
So some of the things to avoid are,
Of course, if you're burning, and obviously inside our city, we don't allow any kind of burning without a permit or anything. So you shouldn't be burning if you leaves or brush or anything inside the city. But if you do live out in the county, and some of our viewers and our response area is outside in the county as well. And so if you do live out in the county where you are able to burn, we are under a burn ban right now. However, you still can burn with a burn permit issued through the county judge's office. And so if you are able to do that, just make sure that you're doing it safely. Red flag day is probably not the best day to do that because of the high winds. Just pay attention to the weather. Make sure you make those smart decisions before you light that fire. But even if you're in the city and you're barbecuing or you're doing any kind of working with welding, lawnmowers, heavy equipment that causes sparks, take that extra caution to make sure that it's not going to start a fire or spread a fire. What it does is those red flag days, fire spreads very rapidly. But it spreads even more rapidly whenever we have a red flag day. And so it just makes it that much more difficult for our firefighters to be able to get control of the fire and put the fires out. So
even idle cars idling over grass. I know not many of us have grass, but
but yeah, if you do have some are in an area where there's some tall grass, don't park over the tall grass. It could, the hot motor and things like that could start, a fire. So be real careful with that. If you see a fire, call early. There's no penalty for calling in a fire, and it wasn't a big fire. Don't wait for it to get big to call us, especially on a red flag day, because again, like I mentioned earlier, it's hard to control those fires on days like that when that weather pattern is like that. And so the faster we can get on that fire, the better we're going to be in the long run.
And even anyone smoking, do not discard your cigarettes.
That's correct. We want to be real careful when we're smoking. If you're smoking cigarettes, please be real careful where you dispose your cigarette butts. Make sure they're being disposed of in a approved container to keep those any fires from starting. If you're pulling something, if you're pulling a trailer, Make sure that there's no chains dragging or anything like that. It could cause a spark and cause a roadside start. So the other things that you can do, whether you're in the city or the county, is give us a defensible space. And what we call a defensible space is don't store dried up lumber next to your house. Make sure that if you have gutters around your house, that they don't have dried up leaves in there. Any of those little things they just make it that much harder for us to be able to fight fire. If you have tall grass, keep the tall grass away from your structures. And when I say your homes and structures, I mean everything around your home. You've got a shed in the back. Make sure there isn't any wood or dry lumber or leaves stored too close to that. And we call it defensible spaces because when we show up to fight a wildfire like that, our goal is going to be to keep your house from starting on fire, right? And so when you give us that space to work with and give us something to work with so we can protect your home, it makes our job a little easier to save your home. And so it's called defensible space, and that's where what you can do as a homeowner to make sure that your home can survive if a wildfire does come through your neighborhood.
Another thing too, if you own a large lot or acres, there's a rule about the fire breaks.
Yes, we do have an ordinance. Inside the city, we have a fire break ordinance. So if you have anything that's over 3 acres, you do have to have a 15-foot fire break around those 3 acres. So if you do own property that's 3 acres or larger, make sure that you do have that 15-foot fire break around the perimeter of your property. So yes, that's very important. And again, that's also that's to help us gain control of fire. If a fire was to spread, it gives us that 15-foot. Well, actually, there should be 30 foot on each side, 30 foot total, 15 foot on each side to work with, so that way we can stop that fire and keep it from spreading to the rest of the neighborhoods.
I'll tell you, y'all have done a great job in response, and I know that we've also had our Forest Service that's staged here.
Right, and I'd like to talk a little bit about that, because I do get a lot of questions about why is there a fire truck from Idaho driving around, and why is there a fire truck from Dallas driving around? Yeah. And so what that is we participate with a program called Texas Interstate Fire Mutual Aid System, and so it's basically cities helping cities out. It's coordinated through the state, through the Texas Forest Service, and through the Texas Division of Emergency Management, and so you'll see they use Alice. They're not specifically for Alice. They're for the entire South Texas area.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
So they're not being staged here just for us, although we use them a lot because they're here, and they're right here in our backyard. It's a huge help to have those extra.
And it's no additional cost to
right.
the city.
It does not cost us anything to have that here. They don't send us a bill. None of that happens. The way that works is those cities will send their trucks, and the state covers that cost. We do the same thing. We sometimes send our firefighters and our trucks out to other cities where the need is somewhere else, and so the state reimburses us the cost that it cost us to make that happen. So if we've got to pay a firefighter to be in that truck and we got to pay for that truck, they give us the money for the use of the truck and for the use of the firefighters and any other auxiliary cost to include even the administrative cost of our staff filling out the paperwork to get the reimbursement back.
And
so.
I'll tell you, I personally feel like TDEM, which is the Texas Department of Emergency Management, has been wonderful to us. They've been great to us. They have a great system put together. Just like everyone, they're growing and learning from every incident along with us. So they've been a key factor within our community, and we're so proud to have them, always backing us up. And then that you've done wonderful too, with your communication, with the relationships. So I'm very proud of our program and what our communication with everyone.
Right, and I wish I could take credit. It's not me. I do what
Don't be so modest. He does. He had the relationship alone. The communication.
I'm glad you mentioned how they're growing and they're learning, and one of the things that they've learned is how great Alice is, and they've recognized they've recognized that our location is really great for them. The reason they stage here in Alice is because they can get to anywhere in South Texas from Alice pretty easily, and so sometimes they're staged here because there's bad weather coming down to the valley or bad weather going over to Laredo or even to Corpus. Mm-hmm. They stage it here so that way from here they can respond to whichever direction they need to go to.
And we have the airport that's
We've got
easily
the airport that supports them very well. We have an excellent airport. Our city and county have worked together to make sure that airport is up to the standards that they need to be met to be able to use that. So not only are there fire trucks here from other cities and other states, but there's also helicopters and fixed wing aircrafts over at our airport that are here to be able to respond, and we've used them here in town to help us get control of fires, and so it's a huge resource.
What was it, Buckhorn?
The Buckhorn Fire is a good example of one of the times that we've used them, to help us gain control from the air, to get control of those fires and keep them from spreading to the neighborhood. So it's a huge asset, huge resource. We do appreciate them, and we appreciate TDEM recognizing us, and I also appreciate their citizens and the residents, because
Yes.
we do meet with them, we do talk with those firefighters. We have briefings where we sit down with them, we make sure that they know where to go in the area, where everything's at, because they're not from here, right? And one of the things that I always get told is how great our people are and how welcoming our people are. And so I want to thank the residents for
Yes.
welcoming these firefighters in, and the more they like coming here, the more they're going to be here, and it just helps us on the fire side, but also on the resident side to
So
have
if you
those extra.
see them out there, just a big thank you, because they have helped us a lot during emergencies. And of course, our local communities that we support also, our local cities and counties, so.
Yep, I believe it was just this past weekend. They were in just south of us in Benbolt, helping get control of a fire out there. So we're using them pretty regularly. So it's a good thing.
So if
for them, right?
If Chief Kidd is watching, thank you. Gary Barney,
Yes.
thank you. We have Brenda, and there's
and we've got Cheto as our
and Cheto is our
Cheto Perez is
regional
our
liaison,
yeah.
or right?
Yeah,
So,
county liaison officer.
liaison.
Yeah.
So thank you to everyone there, and thank you to your firefighters, to our law enforcement, everyone. Because working together is how this has been successful, so.
And it's not unusual for this to happen. Just so everybody knows, it's the weather. Around this time is when these fire red flag days and fire danger days start to come. Every year it happens. It's just we just watch the weather and we prepare for it. And like I said, we do things on the city side, on the county side, the state side, and of course you as residents have a job to do as well. And so
Yeah.
working together,
And
we
even
can make it
going
happen.
out and flying kites and stuff, just be careful with power lines and those type of things, and the wind. It's gonna be sometimes very windy, so,
Very windy but beautiful weather.
yes.
Go enjoy our parks. Go enjoy everything
Yes.
out there. We're doing a lot of good things out there. So
We just,
I'm excited.
council just approved yesterday, some more
Yep,
improvements
some more improvements coming.
to our parks, so.
They've done a great job out there, and
Yes.
the work continues, and so the
Y'all
the
enjoy.
weather's working perfect for that. Let's go and enjoy those.
Well, thank y'all so much for tuning in, and thank you, Chief, for, giving us this information. We will have more information coming up soon in reference to a program we used to have, the HyperReach, that is now have switched, so
Yes,
we'll
we're in the
get back.
process of converting that. I'm glad you brought that up, Mayor. We're in the process of converting over to a new. It's the same concept, same everything's staying the same. Everybody's transferring over, but we do have a new system that's the software behind it all. So we're transitioning over to that. And the signups are already starting, so we just be on the lookout for that information. We've taken it and improved it. We've made it even better than what it already was. So we're looking forward to that.
If you're registered with HyperReach, please don't worry, it is gonna transfer, so you're not gonna have to correct.
Right, you're not going to have to re-register. You may want to go in there once we finish the transition. You may want to go in there and designate what type of alert you want to receive. This system is a little bit more advanced than the last system that we had, so you get really detailed on the type of messages you want to receive and when you want to receive them. We've got quiet times and
Yeah.
great
More to
program.
come.
Yes, more to come. We're doing things to make it safer and better, and make sure that we're prepared as a community to be able to respond to any disaster.
Thank you so much again for tuning in, and have a safe and wonderful day, and we'll be in touch. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.